Hey guys, it's me, Edgar. Just wanted to do quick episode 8. Didn't saw everyone's comments until now, and I'm like, oh shit, I got like a couple of 3 people that could do an entire video on. All right, let's get this shit started. So we go to our first contender is Nick. All right, he has 5 questions. And yeah, who is your favorite AEW? Okay, we'll put it into 4 wrestlers. Kenny Omega, number 1. Number 2, Akata Shida, 616. Um, and also Red Velda and Brett Baker. Just got to put those 3 there. And Akata Shida as well, just if I didn't say her name. There you go. But also the Young Bucks, Jurassic Express, and I think that's it. Yeah, there's some other ones, but Darby Allin's one of them. Nero's one of them. But yeah. So I hope you like my first responding to your question. Question number 2. Do you agree that the whole bisexual Tim Drake is a dumb idea? If you ask me, who really gives a shit? I mean, if you ask me, when I heard the news, I was a little speechless. That's why I was very much like, I don't know what to say. I just don't know what to say. I'm a very lost of words, and that's why I was complete total, just whatever. But yet again, I'm gonna say this, and I think I actually, you know what? I think I should do a rant video on just how I feel about DC Comics, and just overall say how I feel. But I'll just say this: Rebirth killed my love on DC, and the remaining of what's there on DC, I just don't care. And I know Tevia has that question on the recent Batman news, and yeah, I'm not really looking forward to respond to that, but we'll respond that when we get to that point. Third, what's my view on Jason Aaron's run on the Avengers? Fantastic, if you ask me. Best Avengers run in a long, 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 long time. If you ask me, that's just saying a lot. What episode are you on Boruto? I don't watch Boruto anymore. After the whole Naruto Gaiden, I quit watching it. And after hearing and seeing the manga on what Kishimoto is doing to Naruto, making him lose his 9 tails and making Sasuke lose half of his powers to a point where I'm like, they literally strip every little thing of what they were. These characters fought godlike beings, and you're telling me let's do everything we can to destroy what they were? No, thank you. And people think Dragon Ball Super is ruining these characters. No, no way. I'm done. I'm so done with that shit. No way. I stopped watching Naruto because honestly, I saw the shit I want to see, and I don't really care when anyone else says Naruto's done. Kishimoto fucked his show to a certain degree that after everything he's done, he's destroyed his own fucking work. Unbelievable. And now, I'm going to say this right now. If people truly think manga's better than yours truly comic books, I would rather read a fucking Marvel, IDW, and an older DC comic than read that fucking garbage shit fest that you have now in Boruto. Question number 5. What's your thoughts on the recent writer ending Captain America and going to Black Panther? Whatever. That's just all I'm going to say. Whatever. I don't really care. don't really give a shit. He's doing a good job with Spider-Man because he knows he has no other option. So, whatever. Is by then. Thank you for the questions, Nick, and I hope you pretty much enjoy my response towards that. Anyway, Nevia, oh boy, go on your 6 questions. Question number 1: how do you feel about DC doing another Batman event? Wait, hold on. How do you feel about DC? Motherfucker! God damn it, son of a bitch! Read it wrong. How do you feel about doing another Batman, or should I say, how do you feel about DC doing another Batman event where Batman leaves and someone else takes over? For me, I'm tired of all this stuff. I need a break. I don't really care. Like I said, DC killed my love. DC killed my love with Rebirth. And every time, whenever DC does, I just don't care anymore. They have killed my love because they responded towards you. They responded towards you, and they had no option. I said continue going forward and just produce new storylines and do better stories than what you did before. But no, we don't want to do that. We don't want to do that. We want to fucking get rid of everything that was established in the New 52. Get rid of everything you did on that shit. Throw it away and just fucking fan that shit up. Unbelievable. Just unbelievable. I hate DC Comics. I fucking hate DC Comics. I'd rather read the older comics and the New 52 stuff. The rest is history from there. I don't care about how DC goes forward. I don't care how DC goes forward on the future, on what the fuck they do. I'm at that point now where I'm like, even Future State had its moments, but I'd rather read something genuinely worth a shit that's going to go benefit for the future. But every time they try to do something new and different, they're piece of shit, low-life idiots who don't care about anything for the future for this fucking company, and they would rather be the catering. They gotta have catering. They gotta have catering. All this shit. We can't handle something legacy characters, or we can't handle something new and interesting or newer takes on these characters. We gotta have the older stuff because it's what DC belongs. DC belongs. And I never get this shit over with. Ever since that fucking idiots that I've talked to over the years, and I hear that, I'm like, oh my God, this is a piece of shit company who caters to these morons. These morons have killed DC Comics to such a degree that they're in the situation right now, compared towards fucking other companies who really just absolutely did everything they could just to make something new and different, and they don't give a fuck on where it goes. If it goes downhill, oh well, at least it's there. I'm sorry, I had to rant. I just had to just relieve some steam off because, I don't care about DC Comics. I'll read the older comics. I'll read the older stuff. I can't stand what's going on. And the fact they appeal to them, the fact they cave into them, that's it, buddy. I'm out of here. I'm not coming back. So I can give a fuck anyone else says. Anyway, question number 2. What's your thoughts on the upcoming Shang-Chi? Do you believe it will do well? Modern successful. Barely anything. That's all I'm going to say about that one. And that's saying a lot because no one's going to go to COVID bullshit. Because would you rather risk your life to go watch a movie on the theaters? Hell no. And yeah. Question 4. Your opinion on the James I can't even, the writer of Batman leaving. Who do you believe will take over? Bendis, Brian Michael Bendis. You have him take over, it's over. That's all I'm gonna say. And that's just and I'm not just saying that because I'm a humongous fan of him. I'm just saying that because it's too obvious. It's just too obvious. He'll be at that point. Are you excited on Tom Taylor's comics like DC Knights of Steel and DC Dark Ages? I'm looking forward to Dark Ages, but I don't give a fuck about his DC book. If it's an Injustice book, okay then, we're in business. But if it's not, I don't care. And that means DC deceased as well. I just don't care. Anything about DC, I just don't care anymore. They pushed me away so far. I would rather read and put up with the bullshit on Marvel than I deal with fucking catering DC Comics. That's their new name. Catering DC Comics. Or wusses can't even take their own words and stoop by it. You don't like the DC Comics now? Goodbye. That's how I would run it. I would fucking get rid of everything and just start all over. After what's going on with Superman, after what's going on with Batman, after what's going on with any other DC character, that's where we're at right now. I blame the Rebirth trash, and I blame everything on them. You're the fans who killed DC Comics. The heart and soul was dead. At least New 52 was more enjoyable with their stories. At least with them, they actually gave a shit and tried to do something worth a shit. And don't give me that part, Tevia. Well, at least they have a point. No. I just don't believe that. I don't. Because actions speak louder. They caved in. They mentioned every little goddamn fucking thing of yours truly, the older DC Comics. And I'm just literally questioning, like, why are we doing this? Why are we bringing this shit up? Why are we bringing this shit up? Makes no sense. Makes no sense. And then I realized they're just literally caving in. They're caving in because they know the money, the money, all there. They don't give a fuck. And that's why I'm just like, you know what, F you. I'd rather go read Power Rangers. At least I know that is doing something new and different and not using it as an nostalgia brand. I know I could trust IDW on the Transformer stuff. I know I could trust any other stuff, even bitch it as Marvel. And I mean bitch ass Marvel. The ones that really just does bullshit and waste of time, but yet again, at the same time, I would rather read that than read an entire universe wasted because fans didn't like a certain direction and they wanted to just fill in their own fat ego. Ugh, motherfucker. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for ranting about DC Comics or whatever. Anything DC, I just get bloodthirsty hatred. Bloodthirsty hatred. That's a level where I'm like, not coming back being nice. I'm not. I am not going to be nice to you anymore. I am not. It's the only thing I would say is, and it's genuinely worth a shit, is Injustice and Injustice. That's all I'm going to say. Whenever it's worth a shit. The game's probably going to be the only good stuff, but yet again, that's not a comic. That's just a fucking game. I'm counting Injustice as a comic. So, yeah. Anyway. Go down to your final question, Tevia. What's your thoughts on the upcoming Spider event real soon with Ben Reilly becoming Spider-Man, and just wondering how long do you believe this will last? 2 years or a year, if that. if that. So, and would you like Kang to team up with Ben Riley? Kane. Yeah, it would be cool. It would be cool if Kane did team up with yours truly, Ben Riley. That would be pretty cool. Or another question: how would you bring back Superior Iron Man? Um, I would just finish off what's remaining of his story, and that's it. I wouldn't really care less after that. I mean, personally, in my opinion, I think James Rhodes would have found out everything, and both Pepper and James Rhodes would have easily take him out, and the rest would have been history. So, yeah, thank you for the questions, Tevia, and I hope you like my response. And I'm sorry, but I can't stand DC Comics. DC Comics killed my love. Or should I say, DC Rebirth killed my love. And whatever DC does going forward, don't care. Just don't care. I did my thoughts on how Tim Drake is bisexual. I mean, here's the problem with that whole thing. Just going back to that whole topic. It was hinted back in the older Tim Drake Robin comics, supposedly. But yet again, I guess DC didn't want to do it back then. And they saw, well, everyone's gay or bisexual now these days. Why don't we do it? It is what it is. It's just kind of dumb. But I mean, yet again, I don't hate the idea. I just wish that they didn't have to throw it in just because they knew it would sell. And this is the thing about DC. They know it would sell. They're not putting it there just because they're trying to make a story out of it. They're putting it there for a marketing scheme, and it's only going to last for how many years? It's stupid. It's the same thing with the Rebirth. Trash. That's what I like to call it. Trash. It's trash. Because all it did was cater to people like you. And honestly, if you truly cared about the older comics, you should have just read the older comics. I cannot fucking read DC Comics now. I cannot do it. No more. No more. I'm done with that trash company. No more. And that's why I'm just like hoping so much that I'm like, I hope they go out of business and Image Comics takes over and the rest would have been history. They have fucked over my love. They have destroyed everything I liked about their new continuity. They made Flashpoint to be a completely worthless event. So whatever DC does, I just don't care anymore because it's all the dollar bill. On sheer desperate. It's stupidity. Anyway, just thank you for the questions, and hope you liked my response towards your questions. Anthony, he gave off his 5 questions, and 5 questions. What's your favorite TMT storyline? Batman and the Ninja Turtles. First one. That was so good. I love that shit. It was so goddamn good. Question number 4. What's your favorite Spider-Man villain? The Jackal. Love that character. Really loved him. Question number 3. Have you watched The Crow? Great movie. Yes, I have. Great movie. What's your favorite DC animated movie? Oh, wow. That's a tough one. Batman Dark Knight Returns, Part 1 and 2. Great movie. And number 1, what's your thoughts on the DC and Marvel crossovers books from the 90s? Great. The Batman one was phenomenal. First one. I haven't read the second one yet, but that was a good one. The first Batman and Spider-Man crossover. Oh man, that was good. Justice League versus the Avengers. That was a pretty cool one. Teen Titans versus X-Men. That was a pretty cool one. You had Darkseid bring back the Phoenix. That was a pretty interesting sight. I mean, that was a good, interesting direction. I'm like, oh wow, this is something interesting. I never really see that happen. That was pretty interesting, pretty cool. It actually makes me wonder how would that go down. But also, and that's another thing too. Like when I think of Marvel and DC crossovers, I also think of new ones as well. I always thought, like, why don't we do Wonder Woman as the herald of Galactus? That shit would be fucking sick as fuck. And having her get the power cosmic, shit, that would be good. But yet again, I wish DC and Marvel did crossovers again. It would be worth the money, but I don't know, man. DC and Marvel, very unlikely now. But yeah, I mean, thank you for the questions, and yeah. I'm sorry I ranted on DC, but just I have this bloodthirsty hatred, and because I love the New 52. I love the New 52. I didn't see anything wrong with it. I pretty much looked at it like this is the new continuity. This is their own new takes on these characters. Let's go forward. Instead of pretty much doing that, they do the opposite and cave into the haters, cave in all that shit. Now making New 52 and Flashpoint completely worthless comics. And honestly, I mean, like, and making them look bad as well. It's like, you know what? Fine. I'd rather read the older comics of pre-52 and also New 52, and that ends right there. Don't care what happens then, because they've destroyed everything. They made Superman as an nostalgia brand. Nostalgia. No heart and soul. Completely soulless. And the whole factor of, we're going to age up John Kent so we can make him as Superman and going forward. It was like, okay, is this your original plan? Okay. Then my only suggestion is why we couldn't do this before with the New 52 Superman. Oh, wait, you don't want to do that character because you didn't want to hire good writers. I tell you, I mean, if it's not the fans, it's the fucking company themselves. I mean, they're a joke. They're a joke. And just, yeah. Hopefully Bendis could turn things around on Batman. But yet again, we'll see. I mean, his DC stuff is either forgettable or downright decent at best. Miami was probably the only good thing that was genuinely worth the shit. But that's it. That's it. I just don't care anymore. Because my love of DC got killed by Rebirth. Forcing down the older continuity is the wrong thing to do. Do better stories is worth it. Better stories is something really worth reading. The newer Marvel books are doing that. The IDW books is doing that. Image Comics is doing that. Why the fuck are you not doing that? It just makes no sense to me. But yet again, we have idiots literally pushing that narrative. Go back to the nostalgia brain. We just want our catering because we can't take it anymore. We can't take anything new. Fake fucks. Yeah, I could agree. I could agree with that. I mean, I could agree with that statement. But it's just, the fact is, I mean, it's hard being a comic book fan and also being a writer myself. I'm trying to write my own comic book and just tell a story and just go forward. But I mean, when I see absolutely just shit like this, I'm just literally thinking, oh boy, I can only imagine how they would react towards people like me or just me in general. I would love that. That would be pure entertainment for me. Oh, man, because I had to put up with this shit. I'm going to say, yeah, if I was writing DC Comics, let's say yours truly, Superman, oh, it's clean house time. Okay, get rid of every little thing we did with Superman and just throw it out of the window and just pretty much say, okay, that character really should have had no business being a part of. I would have easily just get rid of Wally, the pre-52 Wally, and pretty much have where he pretty much evaporated and Barry Allen and the rest of the Flash characters are trying to figure that shit out. And when you get in the really when you get into the hardcore truth out of this whole revelation, this was supposed to be this new alternate universe of the original DC Comics, and then after that, pretty much. Oh yeah, wait, what the fuck? Oh. They said 616. The original Civil War was originally not made. Said, oh, dude, would not. Oh, absolutely. If the original Civil War came out today, oh fuck no, it would not sold very well. It would have been a failure. Would have been a failure. And that's another thing too. I also respect DC and Marvel older comics. You didn't have the fucking internet. And that's another thing too. When you have the internet today, you have so much bitching, whining, complaining, and on everything. Even if it's literally gonna last 6 months to a fucking year, and it's literally like you're so fucking bitching. I'm like, I'm done. Fucking talk, and that's why I stopped talking to a lot of comic book fans. I stopped talking to a lot of comic book fans because they're all the same. They're all the same. Only very, 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 very few people are not the same. But they're all mainly the same. Besides those very few quantity people that pretty much just bitch and bitch and bitch and bitch and bitch, moan and groan. You don't see me bitching about how I feel about the whole yours truly on X-Men right now. You don't see me doing all that shit, ripping comic books, literally saying it's trash, and I'm like, why paying for the fucking money doing this? Who gives a shit about your opinion? You gave them your money, you fucking piece of shit, clown! Oh, dude, absolutely, I agree with that statement. I mean, were you watching this whole entire rant? I was shitting on DC and how I truly feel. I mean, granted, with Marvel, I'm like, yeah, whatever. I mean, the whole supposedly, oh, we're gonna have a gay Captain America. So, at least it's not Captain America himself. If it's an OC character, who gives a shit? And also another thing, if it talks about politics on certain issues, who gives a shit? I mean, it's a story right there. Really, it's a story right there. I just don't get these people. But as for comic fans, oh yeah, the comic community went downhill. Ever since 2016, it went downhill on everything. Just literally music, just movies, everything, politics, and that's another thing too. Politics becoming more of a mainstream because that bitch ass fucking loser Donald Trump fuck pretty much made that shit even more into a mainstream type shit, and that's why you have this negative bullshit. Don't give a fuck about anyone but myself. That's what they are. Don't give a fuck anyone else's opinion but myself. People. And it's just, I'm done. Anyway, just I ranted pretty hard. I never rant this hard unless it's something I truly love. I could say yours truly, Alien. I would. Oh man, I'm gonna do a video on Alien one day when it comes to the TV show that's coming out, and pretty much saying how I truly feel about everything. Granted, I kind of already did it, but yet again, I would like to do it again, just because I want to say say my opinions, how I trust Disney. I mean, the Marvel books are doing a pretty good job. They're doing a good job on their stories. However, I mean, people say it's bad, but I'm like, how is it bad? How is it bad? I mean, but it's not really good. I'm like, dude, okay, if you don't like the writer or whatever, then go read your fucking trash. Go read. I wouldn't say trash. I would just say go read your own Alien books that really are worth reading. There are many stories out there, but yet again, I mean, all these basically today, people, it's just either clickbait, nothing more than liars like the Quartering or Geeks and Gamers. I'm a fucking fuck. It's just, or you have people just literally review it just because they're getting a fat ass paycheck, even though they bought the comic and they made sure they paid for that. They paid for that company that he's bashing. Like for example, the Yellow Flash YouTuber. The Yellow Flash YouTuber. One of his fans came down to comment one of my videos, and I'm like, so he ranted about me? And I pretty much got confused, and then I realized, okay, oh, I see. But granted, when I see people like him bitching and moaning about Marvel and DC, how they're woke, and I'm like, first of all, idiot, and you're a clown on top of that too. You're nothing more than an idiot because you bought that comic, right? Then, honestly, you could rip out every comic book. The company's glad you pay for it. See? If you don't like the book, don't buy it. That's how it is. Send a message. Vote for your wallet. That's all I'm going to say. Oh, yeah. Definitely. And I'll just say this. A lot of our favorite storylines would not be successful in today's day and age. The whole death of Gwen Stacy would never work in today's society. The whole Spawn comic books and the whole Image movement on everything would not work. That company would have died down so fast in a speeding bullet. And honestly, it is what it is. But I mean, as for everything else, I just don't care anymore. I don't fucking care about what goes around on DC Comics. Marvel, I care about whatever they do because I know what I'm getting myself into. And was better when... Yeah, I agree. But ever since the whole geek culture, I think really it's just because the superhero genre is so goddamn big and they represented the geek side. Ultimately, it pretty much exposed the mainstream of it's okay to be a geek. It's okay to like superheroes. Or it's okay to like certain things. You're going to have that now more than ever. Once it hits mainstream, it's done. But yet again, I would say everything's mainstream now. And who really gives a shit? But I mean, hell, I even defend the Avengers game. And I shit on that. What was the whole point? What's the whole point of doing a war table? A fucking war table! If this character's gonna come in the same week! What kind of a fucking idiots do you really want me to believe? You should have announced what Black Panther is going to be like in June or July. Then, therefore, you have the anticipation. You have the people going forward, looking forward to play that character. Then after that would have been fucking goldmine right there. Not pretty much do this half-ass, sloppy piece of shit fucking who gives a fuck about it. And just honestly, just shoving every single thing. Granted, supposedly they say Spider-Man's coming out this year, and I'm just thinking, December? That's my guess. November? Who knows? He could be coming out probably October. Who knows? Who knows? But I mean, whew, I ranted pretty hard. Fuck me. I might just retitle this video Q&A DC rant. Oh man. And I don't like being negative. I mean, people think, oh, you enjoy being negative. You enjoy it because you don't like the certain comic books. No, asshole. I don't like to rant. I like to pretty much enjoy what I like. And when I rant, I'm fucking coming through with the fucking sheer love of something I enjoy. And when that shit gets ruined and they pretty much make me look like an idiot by catering to you, I just, there's no nice guy anymore. There's no me pretty much just allowing different opinions. No, there are different opinions on just saying the truth and saying the hardcore facts. That is how I feel. If you don't like my opinion, you can go somewhere else. Go fucking listen to Geeks and Gamers. Go listen to the bum on the bum quartering, and go listen to Who Gives a Fuck, the Yellow Flash, where the fuck his name is. Anyway, just I'm tired. I'm just so sick and tired on DC. And, granted, I did not intend to rant, but granted, I'm glad I did, because I'm glad I just got off this chest on how I feel about DC Comics. And, people want Marvel to cater to them. At least with them, with Marvel, they cater to you when they fucking feel like it. That's the thing. They will cater to you. They will give you what you want when they feel like it. I mean, Tevia, if they give you the whole Mary Jane and Peter Parker relationship, okay, fine. But they'll do it in their terms. If this is the finale of, okay, you know what? We've done enough on Peter being single again. Let's bring them back together. We know it will make money, and let's go forward with that direction. They would not allow all the bullshit that's going on right now on everything, tweeting on that shit, if they just knew. They knew if they do this, they'll make money. But they want to have that hunger of every single issue will be sold every time. And honestly, that says a lot. And that tells me they're doing a good business practice. Unlike DC, where they fucking catered to everyone because they can't literally take the hatred, the bitterness, the fucking just, oh, you took away everything I enjoy. You are a saint. Okay? Good job. Because you won't have me buying your books again. Oh yeah, I agree. Absolutely agree. Oh yeah. Definitely. A lot of the stuff that we have now, Do you? I want to know, for all those people out there, do you really think the whole Phoenix saga would be successful today? No. Do you think the whole Venom storyline back in the 80s and 90s would have worked out? No. Do you think Carnage would have been a well-known villain and a hot product to pretty much buy on anything Venom or Carnage that rolls around with Spider-Man? No. Everything on the older comics, both Marvel, DC, Image, whatever, worked because it's the timing. The timing was fucking beautiful. Same thing with Kamala Khan as Miss Marvel. She was a global megastar. Her first issue, and then later on, she had her ups and downs. And granted, she had her ups and downs, and that's just how it worked. But I'll just say this. Everything starts for a reason. And that's why I'm hoping her book that she has right now in the new Miss Marvel comic that's coming out later this year is somewhat successful. But yeah. Anyway. But yet again, I mean, they could easily just make an ongoing book with all three Marvels, you could say. The two Captain Marvels and Miss Marvel herself, and just go forward. I wouldn't mind that, but yet again, I would like to see a solo Miss Marvel comic. But I mean, people really just don't understand. And granted, I even see people shitting on the older comics, like the Miss Marvel character. Everyone said, "Oh, she's a woke character from the 70s," and I'm like, "What? Wow. They're actually saying woke characters from the fucking 70s. I mean, now people just don't respect comic books. They're only going to pick and choose what they really like, and that's really it. And, my father told me this, and I can agree with that with a whole hard statement. A lot of these comic book fans don't know what the fuck they're talking about because they're blinded and stupid because all they think is they know better than everyone else. They think they're entitled to on everything else. And if that wasn't fucking true, then you wouldn't have the situation that we have now. So honestly, I'm just done. I got to wrap this video up, and I got to go play Marvel's Avengers and go play some. I just clicked on it. What? Clicked on it, babe. Oh, clicked on it, buddy. Oh, dude. Oh, wait. What was it? Oh, yeah, clickbait too. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and that's another thing too. I hate those clickbaits that make you think one thing and in actuality give you an entire different product. I wouldn't say they're rushing it. I wouldn't say that. But yet again, I mean, to tell you the truth, I'll just being real with you, 616, man, they know it works because they wait. I wouldn't say they're rushing it because they know, okay, all right, we stalled this a little bit long enough. Let's do the wedding. Let's do the story between Peter and Mary Jane and have them get back together because they have that time to Peter and they have that hunger of the consumer getting that shit. This is why of telling good stories, building on that stuff. When you're in the good and the bad and the downright fucking trash, and you're going to get that shit later down the line, and when it does, hits gold, it's rock and roll, baby. That's all I'll say. But yet again, it's just how I'll just say this. wait, I'm talking. Okay. My mistake then. Um, yeah, I agree, and I agree. Personally, I mean, uh, I have a headache just talking about this stuff. And if Tabby, if you saw my video on me talking about this, thank you. But also, do watch the Q&A once I'm done. I just I'm trying to be very, very positive, but it's so hard to be positive with something that you truly like, but you feel like betrayed because you can't say how you truly feel. But yet again, when you have these clowns literally bitch and moan about it, and you feel like, hey, wait a minute, you're sending a message of this crap, like the whole thing of uh, Marvel games after the next Spider-Man game that's coming out on the PlayStation 5, I'm done. I'm done playing Spider-Man. I'm cutting all ties with that character. The reason why I say that is I am at that point now with Marvel games. I just don't care anymore. I wanted Marvel's Avengers to be somewhat successful. It didn't work that well. Granted, the whole uh, Avengers uh, PS5 version sold very well, but yet again, the damage has already been done. But yet again, I just I don't care what anyone else says. I feel like every time there's a Marvel character and it's not Spider-Man related, they kill it. They do everything they can to kill it. And that's why I'm just like, you know what? My response is don't buy any Spider-Man games. Cut all ties. After and that's just after the sequel to yours truly, uh, the PlayStation 5 Spider-Man game. Or Spider-Man, should I call it. Because I wouldn't be surprised it's called the whole Spider-Man because they're having knowledge of both Peter and yours truly. Fucking, I'm trying to think both Peter and Miles be Spider-Man, and you're gonna have like a 2 campaign storyline together. That would be pretty cool, or a co-op experience. That would have been pretty cool. Um, but I mean, I'm just being real. I'm just being real, and I mean, I blame the wait. I blame the higher ups. Like I mean, like original plan was used in Mephisto, yeah, to giving Peter a time travel to go back in time to go right the wrongs, the post after. Well, that would have been something interesting. That would have been quite interesting if you ask me. Um, but yet again, I mean, but besides all that stuff, I mean, I'm just so done with it. I mean, the whole culture. Like, people say our culture's changed. Our culture's changed. If our culture changed, then this culture that we have now with comic book fans or just geek culture in general absolutely sucks. And that's not an opinion; it's a fact. It sucks because you have these people out there spitting that narrative of saying, I would rather have this character than have bullshit whatever. I mean, this is another thing too. When you have the Deadpool game by High Moon Studios, the last game they ever did, and honestly, what happened? It didn't sold, it got hated on, and what happened? They pretty much went out to bankruptcy. And also going forward, Activision chopped up everything what made that studio so goddamn good, and they pretty much have yours truly fucking just having yours truly, High Moon Studios, be nothing more than a Call of Duty piece of shit, just developer. And I'm just like, every time I think about it, I want to puke. Every time I think about it, I want to puke. And yeah, dude, I gotta go too. Anyway, yeah. Oh yeah, Geek Code. Oh yeah, definitely. Oh, I'm doing pretty good. I'm just about to ending this Q&A, and yeah. And before I head out, I'll just say this: go buy the books. Please, I plead you, I beg of you, go support the books that you like. I'm going to support my books. I'm going to do everything I can to make what uh, what these characters that I like the most, that really mean something to me, speak out by buying those books and sharing. These characters mean a lot to me. I want to see these characters still be around. I don't want to see these characters pretty much be like, oh, a forgotten thought. I mean, I'm going to say this right now. I would kill to have a War Machine comic book. I would have another Jane Foster book. I would love to have a Miss Marvel book that's an ongoing series. I want characters that are in a way, I want characters that are going to mean something to me and will last through a long period of time. Unlike the A characters that pretty much will never have their cancellation. You'll never have a Spider-Man book that will get canceled. You'll have a book, it will ended. You'll have a book that will end, but never get canceled. But yet again, it is what it is. He's just, yeah. Oh yeah. I can agree with that statement. They sold off Hulk, Thor, Daredevil, Elektra, Ghost Rider. Wow, even now, Elektra never got the game. Respect. Yeah, I agree. And she has a couple of good books out there. But I mean, oh yeah, the Daredevil got. Oh, there was a Daredevil game got canned. I never know that. That would have been pretty interesting if they did that whole game. Hell, you could easily, if they did a Daredevil new comic, or not new comic, a new game, you could easily connect it towards the Spider-Man PS4 game. That would be pretty cool if they did a new Daredevil game and it connects towards the whole fuck, I'm getting losing track. You know, I'm just gonna end this video. I said enough, but I mean, I'm gonna support the shit I really want, but I mean, I just can't stand a lot of these comic book fans, and I'm being real and I'm saying how I feel, and I don't like DC anymore because they listen to the haters that just cater to everyone. And yeah, it's just it is what it is. I'm done now. I gotta get going. I'll see you guys later. I'll probably announce another Q&A announcement in next week. I'll see you guys later. Thank you for the questions, Tevia. Thank you for the questions, Nick and Anthony. I'll see you guys later. And yeah. Oh yeah, an open world with Arkham style would have been cool. Oh yeah, it would have been sick as fuck. And have that shit to be canon to the Spider-Man games. Oh shit, that would have been so good. Oh, and you could have the Kingpin show up. Oh god, that shit would just be so good. And have Elektra and have all this shit. Oh man, that would have been so good, so good. Oh, but granted, that shit ain't gonna sold. It would never sold because it's not good. It's not this. It's not this. That's all I hear. That's all I hear now. Fucking bullshit, people.